How gangster is this? YOLO.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
The real joke is whoever told Brendan Schaub he could do comedy. I mean, really. Hello everyone, it's me, Leo, but come on. I'm not sure what's happening, but this man thinks that he could do stand-up comedy, and it is bad. How bad? So bad that I actually looked at both his specials and wrote a chart of the jokes that he makes, because I wanted to break down his comedy specials. And they've already been broken down by countless people. The reason I wanted to talk about Brendan Schaub is I'm also a comedian, believe it or not. In fact, when I was 16, I went to the New Zealand stand-up comedy special, the International Festival, and by 18, I was doing stand-up in high school. Here's a snippet.
I wanted to ask this girl to the ball, and she was way over there. And my friend started talking to me. He said, "Why don't you go talk to her?" And I said, "I'm shy." But this voice in my head came, and it said, "You're sexy." And I started to walk, right? And when you walk and you're far away from a girl, everything's fine. Your head starts talking to you and it goes, "I'm Superman." And then you get a bit closer and that voice, it fades. "I'm modest man." And you get closer, "I'm just a man." And you hear, "Whoa, man."
I think I know my way around comedy. But in case you don't think so, let me actually show you the breakdown of Brendan Schaub's comedy routines. Sus jokes. Jokes that he thinks are funny about him being gay in some way. Because he's a straight man. Dallas. He seems to love Dallas. I don't know why. All like. He literally says, "and I'm all like," and "she's all like" in every other sentence, and I wanted to tally that. And the last thing he says is "as shit." That's the simile he uses. "It was cool as shit, Dallas. Believe me," and I'm all like, gay. I just used all his jokes. What I thought I'd do, like I said, was break down both his comedy specials and give you a short timeline on Brendan Schaub, the man, the myth, the absolute legend. And Brendan, if you're watching this and thinking that you're gonna take this video down, joke's on you. I don't give a shit. I could care less. If you like the video at the end of it, please consider subscribing. You don't have to subscribe now, but if you like it, it would be cool. While you're at it, do follow me at sixteenleo_. That way you can give me props on getting a blue tick. I guess I did. Woo! Today's video is sponsored by NordPass. I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate it when I try to log into any online account and I forget my password and they're like, "you need to reset it." Sure, I could write down all my passwords and store them in a safe place, but I usually end up using my Facebook account to log into new websites, apps, or shops because it's so much faster. But what happens if my Facebook account gets hacked? Like my YouTube. Hackers would then get access to any and every account I've logged on through with my Facebook account. Luckily, NordPass has the perfect solution. NordPass is a password manager created by the cybersecurity experts who built NordVPN that safely manages all your passwords in one place. It's easy to use. For example, if I wanted to sign up for a clothing website, when it's time to choose a password, NordPass automatically pops up and provides a strong suggested password, which automatically saves to NordPass. You can even use the same account on up to 6 devices. NordPass syncs your credentials across your devices. You don't need to type them in each time you pick up a new gadget. Get exclusive access to NordPass's best offer through the link in my description, or use the code 16 at checkout to get an additional month for free. Thanks, NordPass. So like I said, today is a deep scuba dive on Brendan Schaub, whose last name I find hilarious because it sounds like something you order at an Italian/Greek restaurant. I'll have the Schuab, but let's start off at the very beginning. Brendan Schaub was born. Great. He was born with that facial hair. Don't know what that was. But before he had it, he was actually briefly into football. He started with a little football career, which he quickly gave up on. I'm looking at his stats right now. 2004, 2005, 8 yards. 8 yards. I'm not really an NFL player, but I mean, to me, it stands for nice leap. He is 6'4", which is congratulations for being that tall. Ah, there he is as a kid. His position is fullback, which I'm sure he would tell you is how he likes it. Sus jokes. And yeah, that was him before the weird facial hair that looks kind of like Michael B. Jordan's leftovers.
But then on the flip side of that, my mom was always really like...
But here is him talking about his football career. And also, Interesting to note, the people he sees as legends, because they're going to change throughout the series. You see, Brendan Schaub is not exactly a man of his word. He kind of lies a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot.
So she wanted for me to be like Adam Sandler or Chris Farley. She wanted me to be on Saturday Night Live. So it was this weird dynamic where I was the funny, like athletic guy. It's almost a blessing and curse.
Oh, I love Brendan Schaub, like what do you call it? Humble bragging. My God, I love it. I was always the funny, like athlete kind of guy. I was like Saturday Night Live, but football. Brendan Schaub in another episode of Adam Sandler. Happy Gilmore? More like Happy Gilhore. I'll suck you off. Sus joke.
You almost did the NFL, right?
Yeah, so I had a cappuccino with the Buffalo Bills. And then they're like, we're all set on slow white guys. They're like, say less. And then I got my stuff and got out of there. But, you know, as a kid, like my heroes were like Junior Seau and all these NFL guys. And I thought, God, if I just get the NFL, it's going to be like.
Those was his heroes, Junior Seau and all the NFL guys. Tom Brady, braid my hair. I don't know many NFL players.
You know, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Like when that.
Yeah, Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. That's my favorite player in the NFL. He's the brownest guy there. He's the chocolate thunder of the group.
Chocolate thunder.
The kid gets in the factory, like, I'm going to be like, this is it, baby.
Like I made it.
And it was not like that. And they don't have your name on your jersey. And I was like, dude, you spelled my name wrong.
They're like, we don't care.
So yeah, that was his football career. Shortly after that, he decided, let me start kicking and punching people for money. So he had a UFC career. His record is stellar. 10-5. 10 wins, 5 losses. That's 50%. That's, you know, in boxing, that would be considered absolute trash. But I don't know much about UFC. I do know this man has a habit of getting knocked the hell out. Just by the way, all things considered, putting yourself out there and doing a sport like this is bravo to you. I'm not going to joke about that, but at the same time, those were some funny knockouts. You should have said something about it. Brendan Big Brown Schaub. Big Brown Schaub. Brendan Big Brown. That sounds like shit. Literally. That was his UFC career. After that, Joe Rogan told him to just not do that again, and he listened. But Joe Rogan is not only a podcaster, but he used to be on Fear Factor. But not only that, he's also a comedian who tells jokes from time to time. So Brendan Schaub saw that and was like, you're my friend, you do that, I can do that. And he started not only telling jokes, but hosting his own podcast called The Fighter and the Kid. He's also got one with Theo Vaughn, I think. And somehow his friends, who are all comedians, have led him to this influence to think that he is a comedian. Now, I think as good friends, you would sit your friend down and be like,
hello, bro, you're not funny.
I don't do UFC fighting, I'm a comedian. I punch people with my humor. Will Smith, not so much. But nobody told Brendan Schaub this, and he just had this unlimited confidence to start doing stand-up. And that is what he started doing. Lies, copyrights, and joke theft. Before we get onto his unbelievably great stand-up, this man has been known to lie, cheat, and steal like Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. But he also copyrights smaller YouTubers, and I am smaller than other YouTubers, so I'm a little bit scared. And by the way, I hate Brendan Schaub. I love Brendan Schaub. He is the funniest man in existence. I love his jokes. Funnier than Kevin Hart. Funnier than Dave Chappelle. He's so funny. Yeah, anyway, he's copyrighted so many people, and it's not actually him doing it. If you look at the copyright holder, it's actually Joe Rogan's company. So Joe Rogan is strong-arming them into giving up their content so that it's not making his friend look bad, which I think is pretty against what Joe Rogan stands for, which is free speech of people, right? But also, his joke theft is just unbelievable. I mean, you gotta listen to some of the jokes that he steals.
Chris Weidman losing 17 seconds into the fight.
This is not a joke. This is actually him just plagiarizing someone else's speech about an NFL take, which I find absolutely... Imagine taking the words out of someone's mouth and then putting it in your mouth and then regurgitating it. It's not even a joke. Like, you can't even think for yourself?
With the same shin injury that derailed the career and then the second fight between Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva. Dude, Hollywood would reject a script if you wrote that in because it would be just too impossible for the audience to believe.
2 days later.
If you wrote this for Hollywood, if you gave him a script and you gave him the story of Chris Weidman and how when he fought Anderson Silva, and then Anderson kicks him, fucking bends his leg and breaks it, and then he throws a kick and his leg breaks the exact same way as Anderson Silva's did. Holly would go, it's too on the nose.
Beautiful. He's plagiarizing another man's thoughts. He's like Inception, except lazy. It is crazy. I feel like this is the SpongeBob episode where if you lift his hat up, you'll find just brain underneath there. Because I think his head is unprotected at times.
You know my favorite food is? Fajitas. I love fajitas. Do you like fajitas? You ever get those? Yeah, you do, right? They're good.
The next joke is Nick Swardson at the Laugh Factory telling a joke about fajitas, which Brendan Schaub absolutely steals. Just fully steals. The whole concept. I don't even think it's a good joke.
Because it's more than a meal. It's very exciting. When you order a fajita, you order them, and then a couple minutes later, they bring them out, and it is loud.
I want that same feeling. I go to Chili's and order fajitas. You know what I'm talking about. You order those fajitas, it's fucking poppin'.
Smoke. It's like 4th of July. Everyone's like, oh my God. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Those fajitas hit the floor, it's all. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on. Right here.
I'm all like, I just cannot wait till we get to his specials. I'm just saying. But he is plagiarizing the hell out of those fajitas, is he not?
Then it turns into an arts and crafts project. Another level of excitement. Tortillas, you have all these little sour cream, guac.
Making it rain with tortillas now and shit.
So, yeah, he's pretty bad. Sort of like Amy Schumer, which is a whole other topic, but this man has been known to steal jokes, and he does steal another joke, which I will show in his stand-up comedy later, directly from SNL. Amazing. But here is him lying, and it is beautiful. I'm not sure why he lies the way he does, but he seems to be an uncontrollable liar. Like, he doesn't even know he's lying half the time. Maybe a compulsive liar at that. Here's him lying about being poor after he says he's rich.
I'm the dumb one of the family. So my brother's a computer programmer. So my father created basically any of the high security encrypted emails that the government uses or
Wow. So he's pretty well off, huh? Because he created 2-key encryption for governments? Whew. This man has nuclear secrets in his ass or something. He's definitely got some money stored up that ass.
Your dad's got some money in his ass.
My dad is the ultimate businessman. So when I was 10, I grew up in Venice in the summers because my uncle had a house there.
Okay, so your uncle is from Venice Beach, California, a place where people who are well off stay. Okay, got it. And he's your uncle, and also your dad literally created government encryption. Okay.
I grew up in that, and he was a professional bodybuilder, so I grew up in that atmosphere. I grew up in the summers being around my uncle, who's insanely successful and a crazy businessman.
Of course, he's not only a bodybuilder, he bulls careers as well. Because, you got to put whey protein in the career.
And then my dad, too, and I remember...
And a bodybuilder.
And a bodybuilder.
Okay.
He's a bodybuilding businessman. He makes gains financially and physically. He's the Arnold Schwarzenegger businessman. He might as well have said Arnold Schwarzenegger was his uncle at this point. The way Brendan Schaub tells stories, you never know.
How gangster is this? In 4th grade, I brought my...
Oh, no.
So I wore my cleats to school. So I'd walk through the hallways, and it was clanking, and everyone's making fun of him. I'm like, all right, bitch, wait to recess.
So here's where the story goes awry. He bought cleats to wear in school because he thinks he's a fancy boy, and he's wearing cleats in Venice Beach. Nothing really weird, especially in Venice Beach. In fact, that might even be the most normal thing in Venice Beach. So he's wearing cleats. Here's the part where he suddenly lies for no reason.
So I wore those every day for the rest of the year. But what's great about that, my mom loved it because we didn't grow up with a lot of money. And because they were the molded cleats, so by the end of the year, they wore down. My mom's like, see, you got shoes now.
And there it is. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. My cleats literally wore down to shoes. I wore them that much that they wore down to shoes. My uncle was a professional bodybuilding businessman from Venice Beach, and my dad created pretty much government encryption, but I couldn't afford more than one pair of cleats because we grew up poor. Brava. Brava. The Phantom of the Opera, real great performance there, Brendan. I just have no idea why the needless lies just continue. He just seems to always be lying.
Insanely successful and a crazy businessman. My mom loved it because we didn't grow up with a lot of money.
Now we get to the copyright section. and I'll let Critical take this because he said it better.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! There's an absolutely awful comedian named Brendan Schaub who is currently suing a small YouTuber over jokes they made about him. And why this is a big deal is because Brendan Schaub is going after him because of the jokes he made, but also because he showed clips of his podcast.
You know, I have a lawsuit against this YouTuber who's a small-time YouTuber. Oh, it's this guy who's big in the space suing this smaller guy.
So there it is. Brendan Schaub is suing a small YouTuber over the use of clips used in his show. Unfortunately, he's infringing on that fair use policy that people so often do on YouTube, and when they don't like something, set up a case for absolutely no reason. I've had it happen to me over literally nothing. It is absolutely the worst. It's so hard to fight. And it's such a loophole in the system, and if you do it, you're a petty person. But what Critical goes on to say is that Brendan Schaub, by doing this, is effectively setting a precedent on himself, so that if he somehow wins this lawsuit and copyright and fair use on clips like that get copyrighted, then him reacting to clips on his own podcast would be copyrighted, and he would basically implode everyone. Brendan Schaub has the power to ruin everything.
If Brendan Schaub somehow won this, then it actually hurts Brendan Schaub too, because from what I understand, he also reacts to videos and uses clips from other things in order to joke and criticize. So if he wins this case, he fucks himself too.
Okay, so let's also talk about Brendan Schaub ruining relationships. Now, this is a video for itself, and if you like this video, let me know in the comments down below, because I might actually do a whole video on the situation with Bobby Lee and Kalila. That's her name. I was gonna call her Kayla. Brendan Schaub somehow managed to ruin his friend's relationship in the process of everything else. Bad footballer, bad UFC, bad comedian, bad podcaster, horrible friend apparently, ruining relationships. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but basically what happened is because he tried to hit on Bobby Lee's girlfriend, who at the time wasn't the girlfriend, I'm hoping it might have been the girlfriend at the time. He might just be a disgusting person. She said no, and she spoke about him on her podcast, and she said the words BS and horrible comedian, and everyone was like, BS? Bullshit? Horrible comedian? That's Brendan Schaub.
I had a guy that was like, why don't you walk me to my truck, this married guy, where I'm like, and we know him, I'm not going to say who it is.
And creating this false narrative of cheating on my wife.
Like, you should walk me to my truck. I'm like, so what, I can blow you? Like, what?
Wait,
like,
who was it?
So everybody just knew it was him. And he got so offended that he released private information about them being in an open relationship. Sorry, it's out now. And it really, really ruined their relationship. Brendan Schaub is a homewrecker somehow. This man adds to his tally of bullshit every time, and we're not even up to the stand-up yet.
Cheating on my wife.
This is just horrible, by the way. Brendan Schaub, you know, unfaithful to his wife is one thing in itself. I don't know who found all these DMs, but congratulations to you. I mean, I cannot believe this man has been shooting a shot like the great late Kobe Bryant. My goodness. But he's also been missing every shot like the late great Kendrick Perkins, who's not even dead.
You gonna swallow this big dick with me, babe?
Spitters or quitters. Yeah, that's married man Brendan Schaub. Oh, yeah. So he ruins his relationship, other people's relationships, his career, podcasting, bad comedian. Have you ever met a man who failed at everything he did? Jeez.
You text Bobby asking if he's handled the quote-unquote Kalila shit yet because you're still getting negative comments. I don't want to have to get nasty with her, but if I have no choice, I can play that game.
Brendan Schaub also literally went on a podcast and got roasted like a filet mignon for some reason, talking to Kalila and Bobby Lee. And he wanted to defend himself. It didn't really work out the way that it was supposed to, but she's no saint either, and that is a situation for another time. This man has made more jokes without holding a mic than he ever did with one. It's crazy the amount of funny he can be when he's not trying. He's like the Joker.
There's so many different
There's
things.
so many different elements
to it, right? It was a dark time.
It was very fragile.
So it was,
we actually broke up for a while.
Yeah,
In fact, Schultz knew that because when Schultz came here, we were broken up.
Yeah.
So after doing all that destruction, this man decided, hey, let me make some stand-up comedy. In 2019, he released his first stand-up, which is called You'd Be Surprised. That's the name. I'm also just as surprised he has a stand-up comedy. It's got an amazing rating of 1.5 out of 10 on IMDb. The synopsis reads, a modern-day Renaissance man. Schuab is a former footballer, retired MMA fighter, and current podcast host. Now he adds another achievement to his resume. He takes to the stage to tell his tales in his first ever stand-up comedy special. Yeah, he's a Renaissance man. He's a relationship ruiner, a liar, a cheater, a bad husband, horrible friend, a shit podcaster, a shit comedian. He's a Renaissance man in the fact that he can't do anything equally. I'm just going to read the top of some of the reviews. Warm, moist turd with a touch of steam. I went deaf watching this special. Platoon was funnier than this. Before we start, Brendan Schaub has a habit of laughing at his own jokes and doing this weird thing. So that's annoying, and I just wanted to bring attention to that. Sounds like you have to say bless you after every time he tells a joke because he either sneezed or you just really feel sorry for the man for trying.
It's real cockfest in here, though, huh?
So the first thing that I wanted to bring attention to is stand-up specials. One called Gringo Papi, the one released after this, and the one called You'd Be Surprised. He opens with the same joke practically. It's a real cockfest in here.
Real cockfest in here, though, huh? All right, that's cool. It's a real cockfest usually at these things.
Love that that's his opener, no matter what. He could be at any place. He could be at literally a woman's strip club. It's a real cockfest in here. I don't know what to say. That was my opener.
I'm glad that's a woman. I love you too. Good to see you. A little different. There's some ladies in the crowd tonight.
Oh my God, he even did the same thing with his hands. This guy actually had it planned out. He was like, it's a real cockfest in here. There's some ladies in the crowd. 2 years later, it is a real cockfest in here. There are some ladies in the crowd.
I get my hair cut every Tuesday because I'm an asshole. This Mexican dude, he gives the best haircut ever.
Ah, Mexican humor. Man, I almost forgot to write that down. Mexican. Let's put a big one there. Yeah, he seems to bag a lot on Mexican humor and sometimes a couple other racially motivated jokes, I guess. This man has used humor from the 1970s, which he was born in or something, but it is very dated and just isn't funny. I have a weird suspicion he married his wife because he'd be able to tell jokes about her. But you tell me.
He's the only dude I let touch my hair. He's the best. He knew I had a big week, and I go to check in on Tuesday. I'm all, is Jesus here?
I'm all and I'm all like are the same thing to me. I'm putting that one for I'm all. The amount of times this man says I'm all or I'm all like makes him sound like a teenager from like the 1990s. I'm not sure who actually says that these days. I haven't heard anybody except Brittany, the white girl, say, I'm all like stop. And he's all like, and I'm all like, please. I cannot believe that's an actual thing that he's doing because nobody in their right mind would actually say that. That would be like grabbing a fidget spinner and starting to spin it at the start of your set. Unironically, because you think that shit is cool.
He took his kids to Disneyland. They go, but don't sweat it, bro. We got Jamal here. He's very good. This dude comes out of the bathroom, he's all.
Yeah, it's all. Oh my God.
What's up, man? I'm Jamal. He was Asian as shit.
There you go. He was Asian as shit. Well, that's two. That's racial humor and as shit. Have you ever been Asian as shit? Can you please explain that simile to me, Brendan? What is Asian as shit? What does that mean? And what is with the weird skippity walk that you do after the joke? Is that something that, I don't know, you told a joke, it landed, you're like, yeah. After every joke, do you have to do a Power Rangers pose? Really?
I married a Mexican, y'all. I married a Mexican.
Ah, back to the Mexican humor. This is from his Gringo Poppy set, but I just wanted to add this in.
I don't mean like Taco Bell Mexican. No. I'm talking Guadalajara. Came to the States 10 years ago, illegally Mexican.
Always good to throw your wife under the bus, because if you do it in stand-up, you can't be charged with it.
I see! Feel way better about this if I needed help with math or some shit, you know? I was just like...
There we go. Classic Asian joke. I thought he was going to do something about driving, but he went with math. Jamal, Asian, but somehow wanted to do math. This man is using jokes that I used to in school when I was 2 years old. And then I realized by 3, that's not cool. This is like Lori Harvey. Dated. Very much dated.
Oh, shit, bro! Gave it the old Kim Jong-un vibe, huh?
Woo, that's kind of weird. Why would you even say that? I mean, I don't even know what that was. Whew. Okay, so we've had... He's good at math, and he gave it the old Kim Jong-un. So if you're Asian, the cuts you have to do Kim Jong-un, Mr. Bean somehow, and I guess that #1 fade that some of the Asian kids have with the hair's all prickly.
It's not good, man. I know I dress like an asshole, guys. I know this.
Yeah, you do. What is with the dress sense of Brendan Schaub, by the way? Why does he look halfway in between Eddie Murphy's Raw special and just a kid who went to school and is 13? Like, what is the glitter gold? Why do you have a glitter jacket on, man? It's distracting from your jokes. Is that why you got it?
Right before I go on stage, I look at my brother, I go, how do I look? He goes, you look like a Emma. I think that's good. I'll see you out there. Okay, here we go.
There it is, back to the walk. And actually doing that weird dance that he does after every other joke when it lands.
I was touring all over Texas, and they do not like fashion-forward men out there. They do not like my kind out there. I love you, Texas. That's how...
There's another live from the likes of Brendan Schaub. He loves Texas and also hates it at the same time.
I love it.
2 different specials, 2 completely different opinions. Don't you love a man who changes an opinion every special?
These are the baggiest jeans I own. This is me dressing down for my other friends out there. In Houston, they were so tight. You'd see my dick wrinkles. They were so goddamn tight.
Yeah, Brendan Schaub takes the time to make jokes about showing his dick. And you know what? He does it again in the other special. He literally makes time to talk about his dick. This man is less of a comedian and more of a physical boy that thinks that his stand-up special is a Tinder special and people are going to swipe right on him after the show. I mean, just look at the DMs. Can you tell a joke that doesn't involve your dick, please?
And Jerry, the Uber driver, goes, remember, even Jesus can save your type. He thinks you suck dick. I'm like, oh.
There it is, the first of many sus/gay jokes. Wow, good one, Brendan. Because you dress a certain way, people automatically assume that you are a gay man. And that is funny because he's straight. And the humor is that he completely doesn't do that. It's just funny.
We might as well have been driving a tampon down that highway.
So the next joke he makes is about him and his brother, which I just find absolutely...
Me and my brother had no idea. We just had the top down, just 2 thickies frolicking with each other.
It's kind of weird. It's not too weird, but it's kind of weird to talk about your brother like that. But anyway.
They were looking at us like we were 2 gay Wreck-It Ralphs going down the highway.
Well, now it's weird. You know, it's kind of weird. I'm talking about your brother like that. You know what I mean? Wait. Maybe not talk about your brother like gay Wreck-It Ralph, but anyway.
It was exhausting the way they looked at us. Exhausting. Like we were sucking each other off at every stop. I'm like, all right.
Okay, let's get it. Talk about your brother. Let's just not forget about the fact that he said, and I quote, my dad's washing. This is my first stand-up special. Dad must be learning some new things today.
Papa's in the back, seeing me do stand-up for the first time.
His pop's probably like, come on, Brendan. Jesus Christ. This is what... I put you in the UFC for this? How have you been winning, Brendan? You got 10 wins? How many of them were submission? What?
And give me a Slurpee. As soon as the word Slurpee came out my mouth, I thought, fuck. I love Slurpees.
He really likes Slurpees. He said that like a real, like a girlish almost, like, give me a Slurpee. Yes, give me a Slurpee. What was that about? Was that the punchline, Brendan? That you love Slurpees? Okay. Well, I guess it's funny, but it's also creepy.
No, I don't need your guns. They're right here? Okay, cool. Here we go. There you go, boys. There you go, boys.
That is why this man retired. That is just fantastic. I never seen someone less athletic in my life before. My goodness, what a move that was. That is like Mortal Kombat if the character is aged.
What do you want to do next month? You want to do penguins? I don't give a What do you want to do?
Also, this is not the first time that he has made a joke about kicking an animal. In his next special, Gringo Poppy, he talks about kicking a cat and then insinuates it and actually mimics it. He thinks kicking animals is funny. I've never found something less funny than that, but okay.
Brace yourself, Dad. Remember Hulk Hogan in the 90s? That freaking dime piece of a man. The early 90s?
Ah, yes, now he will talk about the dime piece that is Hulk Hogan, because that's relevant information in today's world. Do you even know who Hulk Hogan is? He's the guy who I know says brother a lot. I think he also had like a blonde mustache, which is just fantastic, and I think he was bald. That's all I know about him, but he will go on to talk about his sex tape in front of his dad. By the way, while we're at it, let's just break down why Brendan Schaub sucks at comedy. And I think this is an important thing to break down, and I think it's pretty valid in what's saying. This man, if we look at his early career, which I thought was important to look at, has had everything handed to him in life. It doesn't look like a man who's had to fight for anything. And that may not sound important, but comedy is usually rooted in some sort of sense of desperation. Usually they say the best stand-ups are hungry stand-ups, and what they mean by that are people who are fighting for survival.
I'm fighting for my life. Yo, listen to me with this.
That's when you write the best jokes. It's like musicians. Their earliest work is usually their most creative and best because they have literally everything to gain, and they offer the best of them. It's usually when you start, when you're at your most vulnerable, when your back is against the wall and you have nothing to lose, when you give your best work. And this man has never had nothing to lose. He's always had something. Therefore, he's never had to fight for it. And therefore, he's never had to write a good joke. He's never felt the need to do anything other than be mediocre. And unfortunately, that is what his stand-up is amounting to. It just shows a picture of someone who's never had to fight for anything, and the jokes are as mediocre as the audience. I'm sorry, Brendan, but that's just the assessment that I'm giving. Now, back to the Hulk Hogan jokes.
He was chiseled out of freaking marble. He was perfect, man. And his freaking bronze skin, oh my God, to die for.
I'm gonna put one down in the, that's just, okay.
22 minutes, sitting on my couch with my cock in my hand. I go, bro, you owe it to Hulk Hogan to jack off to a sex tape. I hear you, man. I hear you, man. Oh shit, my phone's ringing. Flip, it's my son, Nick.
I thought that was funny. I don't know why no one laughed at the fact that he said flip when he opened the phone.
Flip.
That seems like something he'd do.
What's up, brother? I'm like, oh shit! What's up, brother? Yes!
Yeah, jacking off to Hulk Hogan, I guess that could be pretty, that's a gig, yeah. Shout out to Brendan Schaub's dad for having him and having to sit through this stand-up special, watching your son say your brother blows you and also you jacked off to Hulk Hogan. That's fantastic comedy right there. Gotta love it. Gotta be a weird car ride home, huh?
And then as I kept going, I thought, oh shit, this ends one way only. I get to see my hero bust a nut.
I thought his hero was Junior Seau and all NFL players. Apparently it's Hulk Hogan now, busting a nut.
Since I was a child, I fantasized about Hulk Hogan busting nuts.
Nope, that's just, I don't even know what that is.
And there's just two random bald eagles in his room just swooping up and down like this. He goes to slap him, he's like, don't you fucking touch him, brother. And his dick's doing his vintage move like this.
I did find this one funny. I thought him calling the girl brother and then the dick going up slowly because he's an old man. I thought that was the only good joke that this man had. And unfortunately, the stand-up special is an hour long. Now, if you look at his other stand-up special, it's half an hour long. They cut his time in half. Also, they didn't put it on HBO. They put it on nothing. You'll see the background and the quality decrease so much.
High brain is so brave. It's like, big man, you got this. Don't sweat it.
So the next joke he makes is about him being high. And after being high, him driving home and trying to eat McDonald's. It's a very, very long story. Now, as a stand-up comedian, I think if you have a long story, it should come with a good punchline or a good set of jokes in between. Someone like the great Robin Williams would tell you lots of stories and in between have 100 different punchlines and 100 different accents that kept your mind engaged with the jokes and humor. But Brendan Schaub makes you fall off to sleep. He's like the meditation. If you're having trouble sleeping, put on Brendan Schaub. You'll be knocked the fuck out.
I was so high, man. So anyone that drove by, I'd be like,
yeah, all right, let's add another one to the tally. Whoop.
I pull in this McDonald's. It's 2 a.m. There should be no one there. Nah, it's the crunkest McDonald's you've ever seen in your life. Ever.
Clearly, you don't know why everyone goes through a drive-thru at 2 a.m. in McDonald's. It's because everyone else is high. You're not the only one. You should have made a joke about the fact that you were, like, worried about being high. Everyone else there is probably a stoner waiting to get a McNugget combo. Are you kidding me? Why else would McDonald's ever operate? They know that the stoners come out at 2 a.m.
When I look down, I see a gentleman eating a 20-piece McNugget with sweet and sour sauce. My high brain goes, bro, suck his dick and get those nuggets.
Just come in right here and just put a little one over there and needlessly suck his dick for nuggets.
You know what? YOLO, and fucking walk by all the corners. You would have thought I came off naked and afraid for 21 days. There's only about 10 yards. I was all...
I thought he was sucking someone off. He's still all like, I'm all, they're all. Has anybody thought to tell him maybe not use those words? Maybe not write a joke like that. Has anyone ever proofread any of his stand-up? Or is it just in italics that they can't read and Joe Rogan and the rest of them are like, that's good, Brendan. Can someone please quality control this man? The next time he holds a mic, someone's just like, oh! Nope. Every time Brendan, just like his UFC career, someone just blocks him, defends. Someone needs to defend him.
I took out my credit card and I went, shut up, bitch. I will pay for everyone's goddamn meal if you just give me my food first. She goes, really? I went, I swear to God.
So yeah, that was the humble flex of Brendan Schaub. The punchline is that she did not want to accept his order, but because he said he'd pay for everyone, she got somehow either turned on or somehow had a change of mind to the point she was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to let you do that. And he paid for everyone's order because that's what he does. And Brendan Schaub likes to flex his money because he's just that type of guy. By the way, Kevin Hart net worth $450 million. Never really heard him flex in that capacity. Dave Chappelle, he does make jokes every now and again saying he's rich, but it's funny. It's not a weird, humble flex.
3 large fries, 3 McFlurries, 1 of each different flavor.
That's the punchline? People are laughing at the punchline? 3 McFlurries with 1 of every different flavor? This is what I paid Brendan to see. I paid $6 for this. Ooh.
Felt like Trump when he bought the Clemson Tigers their McDonald's. Felt like that. That was the happiest night of my life. That's the happiest I've ever been.
This man has kids and a wife, but I just find that funny that he didn't mention that. The happiest I've ever been. I have 2 kids and a wife, but this is the happiest that I've ever been. He just, every time he has the opportunity to make a joke, he avoids that and goes straight back to what he's normally doing.
I got very sick. I got very, very sick. That order cost me $3,600.
No, it didn't though, because there is no way you and paying for everyone else in that place cost $3,600. Do you know how much food you'd have to get at McDonald's? You'd have to get half the restaurant worth of hamburgers. You'd have to be the hamburglar who somehow ends up paying for all his food that he stole in order to even get that tab. Are you kidding me? Why would you lie about something like that? What a needless lie by Brendan Schaub. I just don't get why he lies about stuff like this. It's so random.
$3,600.
I've ordered food for 5 people. It came to like 100 and something bucks. You could have ordered for everyone in the drive-thru. It could have been 100 people. You would have paid no more than $400 or $500. Please, I know that it's not a big thing, but it's such an arbitrary lie for no reason. Why?
I got
That's the punchline, really? I got Oh, God. He probably was happy when he wrote that one, too. He was like, Brendan, you're done it again, ya big boy. Really happy with himself for that one, huh? Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that's the joke that he went with.
I don't look like your traditional comic.
Sorry, we interrupt my speech because Brendan Schaub is trying to say the word traditional. One more time, Brendan.
I don't look like your traditional comic.
What did he say?
I don't look like your traditional comic. I crawl through some shit to get to this stage, like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption.
So now Brendan Schaub finishes his stand-up set by saying that he's not like every other comedian who's had an easy journey to get there. Because as we all know, all comedians have an easy journey, especially Richard Pryor, who was homeless and had a horrible childhood and used his experiences on stage to talk about his life and actually gain a career. But no. Brendan Schaub is the real hero. He's like Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption, crawling over that pile of shit that he calls a stand-up special. Tell me the story, Brendan.
This is the exact moment that I'm sharing with you guys tonight. This has been a dream of mine, yes. Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, Robin Williams.
Those were his idols. Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, and Adam Sandler. Even though his idol was Junior Seau and all the NFL players. This is what I mean. This man switches up every single time. I'm so surprised his wife didn't come home one day and he was like, yes, it is me. Charlie Sheen, what's up? I seriously have no idea how you could sit in a room with this man and understand the amount of lies that he probably tells in order to one-up himself every time. He's like a boy who constantly needs to prove to himself that he's better than he was before.
Then when I was 7, my dad walked up to me, he had a football in his hand, he was all, let's cut the shit. Quit acting like a jackass in school and making everybody laugh. You're the biggest 7-year-old we've ever seen.
Yeah, stop making everyone laugh, Brendan. Yeah, humble bragging. Everybody, you're 7 years old just doing stand-up. My hero is Robin Williams and Junior Seau. I want to throw a ball and do stand-up comedy. I want to do stand-up comedy with my balls.
Matter of fact, I have an aunt, Louise, who lives in San Diego. If you're here tonight, Louise, you. Just kidding, Dad. Love you.
That's the least of your dad's concerns. I mean, he's probably worried about you blowing your brother. But anyway.
My little humble house. I grew up in a small house in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, little humble house, small house. Dad was security, government security, little small house, wore cleats. Cleats got worn down. Uncle lived in Venice Beach. Didn't live in Denver, Colorado. Lived in Venice Beach when he was growing up. But he also lived in Denver, Colorado. Humble home, small. You tell me on a map where Brendan Schaub lives and I'll give you $10. Because I don't know.
But my favorite movie of all time is on Ace Ventura with Jim Carrey. And my father comes bursting into that living room. Poof.
Man, that was a low kick, bro. I don't know how high with the doors. He was like, poof. That was a low door. He needs to be up there, man. What are you talking about, son?
I'm in my locker room, the MGM, warming up. My giant Hawaiian opponent, what separates us about 2 inches of drywall.
So he goes on to tell a joke about him in the UFC having one of the biggest fights of his career, his dad watching, and he gets beaten up. That is the gist of the joke. It really doesn't go anywhere, and it is very, very, very long with the amount of lack of humor it has. He's just now telling a story as if this is a podcast, and the jokes are few and far between.
No, come on. You look like a goddamn champion tonight, and I hit that crowd. My walkout music hits, it's rocky, it's all bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I know how the music sounds, bro. You don't have to tell me what it's all like and then do it.
Bam, 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 bam.
Please, Brendan, please, we only have an hour. Please, you don't have to do rocky music.
I see my papa sitting cage side. Shout out to Will Smith.
Yes, shout out to Will Smith. The only person in UFC that everyone fears. I mean, he's the only person who did it in a suit. Let's just say that. Everyone had to do it in underwear. Will Smith, shout out.
I see the A-lister himself, Leonardo DiCaprio, with 2 girls on each arm like this. Bro, I've seen Titanic 1,000 times, son!
Yeah, that's the latest movie he's been in. Hey, it's Leonardo DiCaprio from What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Where's Rose? I'm with you, man.
That's a horrible joke, even on a stand-up special. That's like asking Johnny Depp, where's Willy Wonka? Yeah. Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. What?
And I see my ex-girlfriend sit in the front row. I'm all, well, well, well.
I'm all, well, well, well.
Look what the cat drug in. Couldn't get enough the big man, could you?
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
And you're eating at the food court there, Panda Express, and a real gang member with like tattoos all over his face sits across from me. Look at this moron. And then he catch you, look at me like, oh shit!
Damn, what kind of Panda Express do you go to? I mean, Panda Express is fantastic. But have you seen many Crips at a Panda Express? Do they order the red hot chili or what did they do? I never seen it before, Brendan. What the hell? Do you go to Inglewood to get your Panda Express? God damn, son.
All I could think about was Leonardo DiCaprio sitting in the front row. And one scene in particular from Titanic was on a loop just over and over, over and over.
You must have angels flying out your arse. That's my favorite scene from the movie.
Oh, forget it, Boyle. You just like have angels fly out of your arses get next to the likes of her.
You remember that scene in Titanic when Rose about to jump off the giant cruise ship in the freezing cold water? He's like, wait, Rose, give me your hand. You don't want to do this. I'll save you.
It's a great recap of Titanic. Give me your hand, quickly. Just do it. Oh, you are so annoying. Why don't you just jump, idiot?
I'm staring at Leonardo DiCaprio like this. Come on, man. I'll suck your dick, Brandon Rose. Guarantee it.
All right, then.
Jack. Not really, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but still.
I'm going in and out of consciousness while fists rain down on my face. I'm doing the concussion shuffle like this.
So anyway, Brendan Schaub gets his ass beaten, and he goes back to his locker where everyone is disappointed, and his friend comes to console him. That is the long-winded story.
Now, in the corner of my eye, I see this mom with two twin boys. She was offering me a hug, and she had some big-ass titties. Those some tig-old bitties, lady.
Oh, he literally said the word. He said tig-old bitties. He literally, my high school friend used to say that because he thought it was funny. This man has literal child humor. I don't know whether he got knocked out in so many fights that he's literally suffering and this is the apex of his comedy, or he's actually just this dumb. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm being really harsh, by the way, Brendan, but like, god damn it, man. Why is Brendan able to do this? I admit, it's fine for him to do stand-up at the Laugh Factory, but to get his own stand-up special, he's making a joke out of comedy. And do you know how hard that is to do? You must be Andy Kaufman-esque to be making a joke out of the idea of stand-up comedy. This man is taking one of the purest forms of entertainment and putting gay jokes on it. I don't get it.
Yes, you got this, yeah. I'm slapping asses, right on. Flipping dicks, get them. No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, alright then. Well, just keeps going.
This giant Asian doctor walks up to me and goes, Mr. Schaub, sorry for your loss.
Don't do the accent. What the f was that about? What? Why would you do that? No, don't do that. What? That was needless. You didn't do it the first time for Jamal.
Mr. Schaub, after you numb your lip, you need many, many stitches. This be worse pain in your life, guaranteed.
This be worse pain in your life, guaranteed. What do you think this man, do you think he just got out of Guatemala or something? What do you think this man, he just came fresh off the boat or something? This guy, he's a doctor for UFC. You don't think he can speak proper English better than that? This gonna be worse pain in your life?
Emotional damage.
Out of the corner of my eye, I can see my boss at the time, Dana White, my Eskimo brother, jacking off to my demise, going, yeah.
Alright then, okay.
This is how your movie ends, man. You're never gonna be the heavyweight champion of the world. I didn't get to hang out with my friends late. I didn't play video games, no soda, no candy, no girls, no dudes for the most part.
I mean, I was just about to say he had a poignant actual end to speech where he was telling the story about how his movie ended and how, you know, to him, he wanted to be the hero and he felt like he failed his father. But of course, he added a little dude joke there to just spice things up, you know. Lovely.
I see a pair of sandals walk in. I thought, who in the hell would they let back here in sandals? It was my best friend, Brian Callen.
Who is also accused of doing some horrible stuff. Look it up. The company you keep is the company that makes you weep. Gandhi.
Brian Callen and I took a taxi And we came up with a game plan of me never getting punched in the face again and pursuing my passion of stand-up comedy. And that's how I got here.
So Brendan Schaub ends the special by saying that after getting punched in the face, he realized that UFC wasn't for him, and his best friend and him went from Las Vegas to LA, and they had a plan for him to do stand-up comedy. And it's not actually the worst ending to a special, but it sucks considering there was no jokes in between. So that is how he ends the special, with a sob story. And I'm sorry that it's a sob story because it's actually a pretty decent story, all things considered, but it's more of a podcast thing than a stand-up thing. And if you're going to compare him to other contemporaries like Bulber or maybe Louis C.K. pre-Jackoff, these are people who really put in the time and effort. They have a unique voice in stand-up comedy because I always say this, the great comedians don't just say funny things, they say things funny. And what I mean by that is certain comedians have a particular way of looking at things that other people don't see it. And when they see it, they really burst out laughing and they love the way other people think. And that is special to only certain minds. And Brendan Schaub has the mind of most teenagers. So he might be a Dane Cook at best. I don't know. But that was his stand-up special, 1.5 stars. Apparently Platoon was funnier, and it absolutely was. Willem Dafoe dying in Platoon like 10 times. Hilarious. But he follows the stand-up special with another one, just 3 years later. In 2022, this year, he released another special called The Gringo Poppy. It's half as long, half as funny, which is hard to believe, and the budget is 1/10. Let's watch. If you're wondering why Dallas only has one mention, you're about to find out. Okay, here it is, the last one, Gringo Poppy. Here are some of the highlights. We're almost done with this deep dive, and at the end, I guess I'll have to break down his score. The Gringo Poppy. 1.1 out of 10, so it actually somehow is worse than the first one. You'd think that 1.5 is the lowest someone could do, and they just lowered the bar like Limbo. The Gringo Poppy, a stand-up comedy special written and performed by Brendan Schaub. Wow. He went from Renaissance man to, yeah, they made it. As usual, the reviews are fantastic, terrible, kinda racist, even worse than his last special. An incredible feat. He managed to produce a special worse than his last. Bottom of the barrel. 1 star is being nice. Another disaster.
What's up, Dallas?
Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot about Dallas in this one, because he performed it in Dallas. And I swear to you, in this 25 minutes, at least 12 of them are dedicated to the Dallas crowd.
My demo, 18 to 36 bros. That's what I specialize in.
He's wearing far less than he was in the first special, and if you look at the background, it's made out of cardboard. The special really has gone downhill, if you want me to be honest. The production value has just lowered.
It's a real cockfest usually at these things.
The classic line.
Dicey. I love you, Texas.
There it is.
It's good to be in Dallas.
There it is.
I can't go through another lockdown. Straight up, the Schaub household barely made it through the last one. Dallas, my lockdown's different.
Dallas, my lockdown is different. Do you notice the way that he also has the inflection of perhaps many of the contemporary Latino comedians, such as George Lopez, specifically actually him, but even Gabriel Iglesias, some other comedians who are from that region, the way that they deliver lines? For some reason, Brendan Schaub resorts to saying lines much like Mexican comedians. Just because he's a Gringo Poppy doesn't mean he has to do delivery like them, you know what I mean?
I got a 5-year-old and 2-year-old. Parents know what I'm talking about. I would rather do anything else than be locked down with those demons 24/7.
You got it, berate your kids. I mean, you love swearing at kids. You did it in the last special. This special is no different. You also kick animals, and you hate your wife. Continue.
She was fighting with me. Fighting, Fauci, Delta, mask, what are we going to do? I think to myself, oh my God, my life would be so much easier if I was just gay as shit.
Oh, we got a double. Gay as shit. Lovely.
If I was locked down with the bros, Dallas, we'd like play video games all day. We'd work out. At night, we'd fuck each other.
Is he even trying anymore? Not really sure what's happening here. He even laughed at his own joke as if he didn't write it. And you know he wrote it down and rubbed it out in his fucking pen.
Dallas, I never thought I'd say this to a live audience. I love you, Texas. I realized my girl's not cool. Dallas, she's like...
Yeah, so he goes on to tell stories about his wife not being a cool person. Now, usually when we do humor, we do self-deprecating humor. We can do stuff about the wife, you can do stuff about your perspective off them, but it needs to be in a way in which you're still the protagonist of the story. If you want to be an antagonist as a comedian, that is a very hard thing to pull off, and you have to be very cynical. But Brendan Schaub tries to be the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. You have to know your audience, and you have to know what you are in order to be a good comedian. And Brendan Schaub is just trying everything at once. He's a renaissance man, if you will.
All his little friends out front in their first day outfits, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are cute as shit. I need to document this. I go, T?
Cute as shit. You're cute as shit. You're cute as a pile of shit. Love that.
I texted to my girl, crop out the uglies, resend. I married a Mexican, y'all. I married a Mexican.
Yeah, you did. You didn't have to say it twice, but sure, go on. It's a beautiful thing to marry a Mexican person, but anyway.
I'll never forget this. One of my boys goes, dude, papi, what are you doing, bro? Get with a Latina, bro.
Your bro called you papi? Your bro called you papi? Papi chulo. Your bro called... I might have to add some more to that one, bro. I don't know if my bro has ever called me Poppy. He's called me by my name.
Girl, spicy. You know what spicy means? They're assholes. That's what that means. Real Mexican dishes, y'all. Real shit from the motherland.
He then starts going on a Mexican-fueled special rant, I guess, where most of his jokes are about Mexican culture and some weird stereotypes, and then he steals from Kenan Thompson on SNL.
I'm talking huevos rancheros.
You can make mofongo.
Carne asada.
You can make arroz con pollo.
Pico de gallo.
Pollo guisado.
And my favorite, chili.
Guasacaca con queso frito.
There it is. He literally took that same delivery and thing from Kenan Thompson and expected nobody to notice. That's one of my favorite bits. I cannot believe he actually put that in his special, expecting nobody to be like, your delivery and weird punchline is the same as Kenan's on that joke. Why?
That 23andMe, they sent me drive mayonnaise back. I am white as shit, Dallas, yeah.
What is white as shit? Can someone explain to me what is white as shit? Is that where you just go outside and every light turns green and you have a great day? What exactly does that mean?
I know you know, I'm on keto. She goes, mijo, bueno, ándale, mijo. She grabs this tray, she goes, cabron, look, taquitos.
Nice, good, yeah, lovely Mexican humor for the crowd as usual.
Oh, the other thing you should know about dating a Mexican, nobody told me this. There's me flaming hot Cheetos all over your house.
That's just plain racial. I don't really even... It's like saying Indian people just smell of curry. Is it true? No, it isn't.
They love them. They love them. It's like catnip for Mexicans.
That's not appropriate either. I don't get it. Why would you do this? You know, if it was your race, maybe. If you start doing Indian humor and it's really scathing, people are going to be like, well, why are you saying that, Brendan? You're white as shit, to quote yourself. So I don't know why you're making Mexican humor. I guess because you think your wife is Mexican. I mean, she is Mexican. But because she is, you think it's okay to make these jokes, which it is not. It's just weird.
Apparently the Mexican culture, turn 15 is a big deal. White people, we don't give a fuck. These Mexicans gave all the yeah.
That was my favorite joke from this special. And it's not even a joke. He said, they don't give a fuck. These Mexicans gave all the and he didn't even laugh. Nobody laughed. It was just a very funny way to say that. And nobody found it funny. And I found it hilarious. That was the funniest joke from his stand-up. All 25 minutes.
They're there with their amigos. I was taking my family out for dinner the other night. By family, I mean all 15 of them.
Yeah, he then goes into one last amazing joke about how lots of Mexicans can fit into cars because, you know, back in the immigration days, they would smuggle people into cars and they can all fit, and that's what migrants do. Very funny humor by a man who grew up in Venice Beach.
You have your own car. I will text you the address. We will meet at the restaurant. She goes, no, mijo. We fit. Sure enough, we fit, y'all. We fucking fit.
There it is. Another one.
Oh, I know. Me and my girl, we're not doing well. That's right. We're not doing well.
Yeah, he then ends the special by talking about how him and his girlfriend are not doing well and they needed to go to couples counseling. But somehow, makes this again by Mexicans. Watch this.
We're driving to couples therapy. She's crying just because she ran a Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Nice. Funny.
It says, Dr. Rodriguez. I get out, I'm like, we did not go in there, Dallas.
I love how nobody laughed at that, but he probably practiced that like a dance move, like left, right, left, up, down. God damn it, Brendan. Can you do anything right?
Introduce yourself, right? I'll bake some Mexican cookies, and you go over there, I'm like, what the Mexican cookie? What are you talking about? It's like a chocolate chip with salsa all over it? What are you talking about?
Nice. Just more of that. Just fantastic. People actually booed at that one. If you hear it back, if you replay that, someone is like, boo. At this point, it's just too much. The special is just literally bagging on the Mexican culture, and it is just wildly inappropriate. That is probably the best way to end his special, because it is just fantastically bad. Brendan Schaub is a comedian the same way Russell Crowe is a singer, which is to say that neither of them is good at what they're doing. And I have listened to a whole hour of this man perform stand-up comedy in 2 different specials, 3 different years apart, and my consensus is that not only hasn't he learned during that time, he's actually gotten worse at stand-up comedy, and I don't know if he's gonna do another one. Unlike DJ Khaled, I hope he doesn't. Brendan Schaub is a lot of things. None of them are good. And all I can say is that I hope that people like his podcast. I'm sure he's a decent person. But this man really doesn't have any business doing stand-up comedy. Hopefully he gets better at podcasting, and I'm not going to sue him for trying, unlike some people. Hopefully he finds his way or his voice, because he's still got time. He's young. He's only 40, and some stand-up comedians start at 50. So maybe the dude will actually learn. But until he actually finds his voice and something to say, something to stand for, and a unique way of looking at it, all he's going to have is this. 16 gay jokes, 10 what's up Dallases, about 13 we're all like, 5 as shit, and 21 Mexican jokes in one special. This man is crazy. That has been my deep dive on Brendan Schaub. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you liked the video. If you want me to do that one on Bobby Lee and his girlfriend, please let me know. And Brendan, if you're watching this, I have a joke for you. Knock, knock. Don't open the door. Please go back to wherever you need to go and learn how to do comedy. Sincerely, everyone on the internet. Thank you. Bye-bye. Love ya. Thanks again to NordPass for sponsoring today's video. Check on the link in my description to get their best offer and use my code 16 at the checkout to get an additional month for free.